Hi there, in this video we are going to go over how to subtract rational numbers. So step 1, when subtracting rational numbers, fractions need to have common denominators. Alright, we are going to keep the first number, then change the subtraction to addition, and then change the sign of the second number to its opposite. And then you follow the adding integers rules or SADs, same signs add, different signs subtract. Alright, so let's go over this. We have negative 1/2 minus 2/5. So our common denominator here between 2 and 5 would be 10. All right, 10 is a multiple of both 2 and 5, right? The multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. The multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15. You'll notice that 10 is a multiple of both, so that's why I made that the denominator. And in fact, it is the least common multiple, so that works for us, makes things a little bit easier. Okay, you always want to attach the negative to your numerator. So I'm going to attach my negative here. And now 2 times 5 gets me 10, right? That's how I get my denominator of 10. So now I'm going to multiply 5 in my numerator so I can figure out what is my numerator going to be. So 1 times 5 ends up being 5. So here, in order to get from 5 to 10, we're multiplying by 2. So in order to get from 2 to my new numerator, I have to multiply again by 2. So I have here 5 times 2 is 10, 2 times 2 gets me 4. And then we're going to follow KCC, right? Keep, change, or keep it, switch. All right, so the first, we are keeping negative 5/10. Then the minus, or the subtraction, is going to change to a plus, and then that 4/10 is going to become negative 4/10. A lot of times people get confused. What is a negative? What is a subtraction? What I always say is read the problem from left to right. Negative 5/10 minus, this is the minus, 4/10. Put the minus in a box, and you're going to clearly see the two numbers that you are subtracting, right? You are subtracting negative 5/10 and 4/10. So we keep the first number, switch or change the minus to a plus. And then we are changing this positive 4/10 to be a negative 4/10. And then we add across. Negative 5 plus negative 4 is negative 9. And then we keep our denominator of 10. All right, next we have here negative 7/8 minus negative 1/8. Okay, well, lucky for us, we already have common denominators. All right, so again, let me read that left to right and put a box around the minus. Negative 7/8 minus negative 1/8. So I'm going to keep the first fraction, change that minus to be a plus, and change this negative to be a positive. All right, so now we have positive 1/8. And now we can go right across and follow our adding integer rules. So negative 7 plus 1 gets us negative 6. And then we keep our denominator of 8. Now we can actually simplify this, right, by dividing each by 2. And we end up with negative 3/4. All right, C, we have our denominators 4 and 3. So our common denominator is 12. In order to go from 4 to 12, you have to multiply by 3, right? So 4 times 3 gets us 12. Now 3 times 3, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So 3 times 3 gets us 9. And then we make sure we drop down that negative. Don't forget it. All right. So I dropped down that minus and negative for now. So now we have 3 times 4, right? That gets us 12. 1 times 4, and that gets us 4. So let me put that here. And then again, we don't forget the negative. Okay. Now we have negative 9/12 minus negative 4/12. And we're going to keep it, switch, or keep, change. So I'm keeping that first number. I'm changing this minus to be a plus. and I am changing that negative to now be a positive 4/12. Okay, negative 9 plus 4 gets me negative 5, and my denominator, my common denominator was 12, so negative 5/12. All right, and here is another example. We have 4/5 minus 1/3. So I have my common denominator is 15. 5 times 3 will get me that 15. So in my numerator, I'm going to also multiply, whoops, not by 4, but by 3. Whatever you multiply at the bottom here, you have to do to the top. So I multiplied the bottom by 3, so I multiplied the top by 3. Okay, so 4 times 3 gets me 12. Here we're doing 3 times 5 to get 15, 1 times 5 to get 5. Now, you can do keep, change, change, or keep it, switch, switch if you want, but they are both positive, so you can just subtract as you normally would, right? 12 minus 5 will get us 7 over 15. Again, if you want to do keep, change, change, 12 plus negative 5 is still positive 7. So it's up to you whether you want to do keep, change, change or not. I am opting not to because 12 minus 5 is just 7. All right, E. A piece of wood is 2/3 yards long. Mike cuts off 1/5 of a yard. How long is a piece of wood now? All right, so it's originally 2/3, and he cuts off 1/5. So we are going to subtract 1/5. All right, our common denominator is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 3 is 3. And now you can do keep, change, change, or you don't have to. I am actually opting not to do it because 10 minus 3, you don't need to do that. 10 minus 3 will get you 7. So you don't need to do keep, change, change to do that. They're both positive. All right, now at this time, I want you to pause the video and try to do these next examples on your own. All right, so at this time, you should have paused the video and you should have tried the examples on your own. Let's see how we did. So we have 10 and 3 here. Our common denominator is 30. So 10 times 3 gets you 30. 9 times 3 gets you 27. And then I'm going to drop down this negative. All right, and now here we have 3 times 10 gets you 30. 1 times 10 gets you 10. Next, we are going to do keep, change, change, or keep, switch, switch. So negative 27 over 30, we are keeping that. This is a minus, so we are turning that into a plus. And this is a positive 10/30ths that we are now going to turn into negative 10/30ths. Okay, negative 27 plus negative 10 gets us negative 37 over 30, which 30 goes into 37 one whole time with 7 leftovers. All right, next we have here 6 and 9. So our common denominator between 6 and 9, right, our multiples are 6, then 12, and then 18. Our common, I should have said multiples, right? Our multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18. Our multiples of 9 are 9, 18, 27. You'll notice that 18 is in both of them, so that is what I'm going to use as my common denominator. If you couldn't see that right away, feel free to multiply 6 times 9 and use 54 as your denominator, your common denominator. You'll just have to do a little bit of simplifying in the end. All right, so 6 times 3, let me erase that, okay. 6 times 3 gets us 18, 5 times 3 gets us 15, and it's a negative, right? Don't forget to drop down that negative. Next, we have 9 times 2, 9 times 2 gets us that 18, so now 7 times 2 will get us 14. All right, and next we are going to do keep, change, change. So negative 15/18, we are keeping that. The minus is going to turn into a plus, and this positive 4/18 is now going to become negative 14/18. And then we end up with negative 15 plus negative 14 is negative 29. All right, 18 goes into 29 how many times? It goes in once. And then 29 minus 18, so there's 11 leftovers. One whole time with 11 leftovers. All right, number 3 here. Our common denominator is 15. 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. You can just subtract 12 minus 10. You don't have to do keep, change, change. If you want to do keep, change, change, you can. But you will still end up with 12 minus 10, which is 2 over 15. Okay, and then last, we have your 7/10 minus 7/50. The common denominator is 50. We're going to multiply this by 5 to get 35/50. And this is just staying the same. So we have 35 minus 7. And that gets us 28 over 50. And now each of these can be divided by 2, which is 14 over 25. All right, so that is it. Hopefully you learned how to subtract rational numbers. Thank you for watching.